Welcome on the 7:30 on La Belle Television. Today, Wednesday, November 29, 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the titles.
Abidjan will host the 5th African Union-European Union Summit under the theme Investing in Youth for a Sustainable Future on 29 and 30 November 2017. As special guest and speaker, Didier Drogba, the football legend who has shown his support for the Youth Plug-in Initiative, will participate in this activity and deliver a message to young people as well as representatives of African and European youth organizations. The announcement was made soon after being sworn in for a second term. Kenya's President Uhuru Kenyatta announced on Tuesday, November 28th, that all Africans wishing to travel to Kenya will be able to receive a visa to their country arrival.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. As mentioned in the headlines, the former Ivorian international Didier Drogba is playing a key role on the ongoing African Union and European Union Summit currently underway in Abidjan. More reported by Georgina Piga.
Former Ivorian international 30-year-old Didier Drogba is playing a great role in the African Union, European Union, in short, AU-EU 5th Summit currently underway in Abidjan. He has engaged himself in a series of activities beginning today, November 29th to tomorrow, 30th, 2017, such as shooting adverts, engaging in advocacy, and is enjoying a musical concert by one of the country's biggest group's Magic System. His main aim is to engage himself with the 36 African and European youth leaders who are expected to present a common position on youth challenges to heads of states of the summit. This year's theme is Investing in the Youth for a Sustainable Future. Notwithstanding, the youth leaders' engagement is dubbed with the Youth Plug-in Initiative. Aside youth issues, African leaders are expected to discuss on migration, especially in Libya, and on security and tourism.
As part of his African tour inaugurated on Wednesday in the presence of the French President Emmanuel Macron, the Zaktouli power station becomes the largest solar farm in West Africa, precisely in Burkina Faso, with a maximum production capacity of 33 megawatts. Watch the reports.
The solar plant in Zaktouli in Burkina Faso, a western suburb of Ouagadougou, the country's capital, becomes the largest solar farm in West Africa. The Burkinabe president, Roch-Marc Christian Kaboré, and his French counterpart, Emmanuel Macron, partook the inauguration of the said solar plant. Spread over an area of 60 hectares, this solar power plant was built by the French electrical engineering company, in short, Sigilei, a subsidiary of Vinci Energy, with the German solar panel supplier Solar World, for a total cost of around 48 million euros, funded by the European Union and the French Development Agency. According to the National Electricity Company of Burkina Faso, Sonabel, the solar farm Zaktouli could eventually produce the equivalent of 5% of energy needs of the country, estimated at 270 megawatts. The company will launch in 2018 the second phase of the project to increase capacity to 50 megawatts. He argued further, saying that the available budget of 25 million euros will depend on the cost of materials, as they have begun the process of selecting the company in charge of the works. Meanwhile, the power supply demand is growing at an average of 13% per year. Sonabel is betting on solar energy to diversify its production resources. The firm estimates its investment by 2020 to more than 1,000 billion CFA francs to meet the country's energy deficit, estimated at more than 100 megawatts.
Also inauguration, but now on another level, Mauritania inaugurated on Tuesday, November 28, 2017, during the national holidays. Its new flag and its new national anthem were adopted following a controversial constitution revision. Let's get more from Giovanni Odamba.
The new anthem was played during the ceremony of raising the colors in the presence of President Mohamed Ould Abdel Aziz in the region of Gorgol on the Senegalese river, where was organized this year. The ceremony was transmitted by the public media. On that occasion, the head of state announced the launch of an emergency response plan of more than 97 million euros for the populations and their livestock hit by the drought that affects this desert country of West Africa. The new flag posted on all public buildings in the country differs from the old, representing a yellow crescent and star on a green background, and by the addition of two red bands symbolizing the blood of the martyrs of the resistance against the French colonizations whose Mauritania gained independence from in November 28, 1960. For the meantime, the lyrics of the new anthem are already broadcast each evening before the newscast, and it was entirely written by a commission of poets chosen mainly by the authorities to inspire more enthusiasm for the defense and love of their country, according to its authors, who blamed the previous one for being a simple religious song.
In Kenya, during the sworn-in, President Kenyatta announced that his government was opening up the country to Africans by adopting a visa-on-arrival regime for African passport holders. As he mentioned, the free movement of people of the continent has always been the cornerstone of African brotherhood and fraternity. Get the details in the short element. During his inauguration for a second term in office, President Uhuru Kenyatta announced that Africans wishing to visit Kenya will be eligible to receive a visa on arrival. The directive, he said, was meant to enhance trade security and intercontinental travel, but also that Kenya already had one of the more straightforward online processes for short-term visas. He also added that the Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta on Tuesday that any African can get a visa on arrival in Kenya and will be free to settle in the country if they marry a Kenyan, removing restrictions on some nations. If you wish and find willing partner, you can marry and settle in Kenya, he said during his inauguration address, saying the move was designed to cement African ties. This commitment we make again with no requirement for reciprocity. It is also important to notice that the Central African Economic and Monetary Community reached a key milestone this year. It means that the heads of state meeting in Chad lifted visa requirements for their citizens traveling within the 6-member regional bloc. But challenges remain to ensuring free movement and deepening economic integration. The announcement marked the culmination of the 23 years of negotiation. The next step is to see how this free movement will impact the African economies. According to today's social media, the home founder of Nigeria's Islamic militant group Boko Haram is to transform into a museum in the Borno state of Nigeria. Let's get more from Georgina Piga.
According to today's social media, Wednesday, November 29, 2017, the home founder of Nigeria's Islamist militant group, also known as the Boko Haram, is to be converted into a museum to boost tourism in the Borno state of Nigeria. Boko Haram's founder, Muhammad Yusuf, began a group in 2002 focusing on opposing Western education. Their official group name was Jama'atu Ali Sunna Lida Awati Wal Jihad, which meant the people committed to the propagation of the Prophet's teachings and jihad. Mohammed Bulama, Borno State's Commissioner for Home Affairs, Information and Culture, told reporters that the house in Maiduguri would become a museum where all the things that had happened relating to the insurgency will be archived, such as hoping to restore the Sambisa forest where the Chibok girls were kept after being kidnapped in 2014, back into a game of reserve. We want to document and archive all that happened so that our future generation will be able to have this information, he said, according to the news agency of Nigeria.
Creativity in Africa, a means of employment. Due to high employment in many African countries, several youth have resolved to entrepreneurship, and many young Africans have created jobs through the digital platform. Every year, it's millions of Africans who enter this workforce, although blackouts and access to internet are challenges being faced. But nevertheless, entrepreneurship can solve the employment in Africa, even if the continent is full of creative initiative. Also on innovation, now Ethic Phone is a startup with a unique expertise in mobile payments and services dedicated to Africa and the African diaspora in Europe. In Abidjan, the second edition of the Digital Africa Contest, the Reward for Digital Innovation in Africa, will award Mohamed Diakite, the winner of the award in the category Territories, Urban Challenges, Rural Transformation, and Smart City. Watch this element.
Specializing in augmented connectivity for mobile services, has developed a solution that guarantees connectivity wherever there is a mobile network. For Ethic Phone, this means that international transfers can be made instantly via their mobile app, even for users in the most rural areas. As Mohamed Diakite, founder and CEO of Ethic Phone, mentioned, PayPal and Western Union are both examples that prove that enormous need for an easy exchange of money internationally, and we know that Ethic Phone can provide an even better service. Our decision to partner with B-Bound will expand our market reach beyond anything this company can offer. The 46-year-old entrepreneur joined Station F, the largest startup campus in the world, launched by Xavier Niel in 2013, in the 13th arrondissement of Paris, with a space which can concentrate 1,000 companies, 3,000 workstations, and has a maximum capacity of 9,000 people. But in West Africa, the rate of bancarization of the population is estimated at about 50%, with significant disappearance between the territories, 5% in Niger, 20% in Ivory Coast. In Niger, there's an ATM machine for 68,053 people. The mobile application now has 6,000 clients, mainly from the North African and Sub-Saharan diasporas. In Europe, we have benefited from all the funding made available by the public authorities to support and innovative startups. Mohamed Diakite is banking on his second continental distinction after the startup of the year Africa Casablanca in January to install Ethic Phone in Africa. Only break the lack of investment. Mohamed Diakite remains convinced that a Pan-African economic investment policy could restore hope.
She was the one who sublimated the crowds with her voice, and Grace Shadia, with 110 films, 6 series, and several songs, is one of the most famous Arab artists of her generation. But she died on Tuesday and leaves heart weeping. More details by Georgina Pinga in these elements.
Fatima Ahmed Kamal, also known as Chadia, means the one who caused the sound of birds. She was an idol of the Arab public and sublimated the crowds with her angelic voice and grace. Unfortunately, Tuesday, November 28, 2017, she passed away. This Egyptian actress and singer died at the age of 86 due to a long-time illness. For the past 30 years, she had been devoted specifically to her prayers because she was beginning to hear a call to consecrate herself towards God. In 1967, Chadia shot a film with Ablahim Hafeda, also known as the greatest Arab singer of all time, and had all the Arabian crowds to Morocco crowds to Lebanese crowds at her feet, and was called the idol of the public. Although Chadia has left hearts weeping and her stage and the singing birds on earth, she has also left the Arabian public with hundreds of her movies and music to remain as the idol of her public.
A word in sports to end this edition. The video assistant referee, in short VAR, the technology will be used for the first time at an African tournament. The Confederation of African Football validated its use for the next year's African Nation Championship, CHAN, in Morocco. Watch the reports.
Very recently, the goal unjustly denied to Lionel Messi on Sunday is a very good illustration. Moreover, many games have been nullified and said to be replayed on irregularity.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for choosing Label Television to inform you. Please stay tuned for the upcoming news in French on your Pan-African channel. Good night.